What's going on, everybody? Chris Thomas here with Dominion 126. So, I wanted to do a little video, nothing fancy, just me here sitting at the kitchen table. Not gonna do any editing. It's just gonna be one take, and I'm gonna post it. But I want to talk about why I choose Glock, why I run Glock. Not downing anybody else or any other manufacturers, because Glock is right for me, but it may not be right for somebody else. But to get started, we'll show that these are empty chambers, as you can see. Boom. And boom. So, there we go. That one. So, we have my Glock 19 I purchased in 2017. The only modifications I did were I got the frame painted green, and I changed to night sights. And so I actually just had one of the night sights go out on me. I reached out to Meprolite, and they're sending me a new one. So appreciate you guys for that. So yeah, this one is roughly at, let's see. In the last couple of weeks, I added a couple more. So probably 7,700 rounds through the Glock 19. As you can see, it has been used quite a bit. You have all the wear on the slide. There's some wear on the frame too, but this thing is solid. I did stipple that one myself just to give it some additional grip. But yeah, this thing has been in the salt marsh with me. Everywhere I go hunting, this thing was going with me. This is also... if you guys remember the video I've posted a while back of me and Carl shoving mud into some guns, this gun was there that day. Ended up washing the guns in the creek after we shoved the mud in them. So the cool thing was mud in the magazine, mud all along the slide and around the chamber. We were still able to fire the Glock with no problem. Washed it off in the creek. After we washed it off in the creek, we were able to still load a magazine, put it in it, and it fired flawlessly. I've actually been in the wade fishing with this one too, in the bays and in the surf. And all I do is bring it home, spray it down, well, take it apart, spray it down, put it back together, and it still works, almost 8,000 rounds later. This one I picked up not too long ago. It's a 17 Gen 5. Absolutely love that one. Real smooth shooting gun. I've only got maybe 300, 400 rounds through it so far, so I need to get out to the range and catch up. But really, really love both of these. The only issue I've had is some of the steel cased ammo in the 17 when I first got it was sticking and having some issues with that. Sprayed some oil in it, kept running the steel cased ammo, and it worked just fine. But yeah, as far as reliability goes, I would definitely put my life on the line as far as if somebody came into my home or in a defense situation, walking down the street, in the car, carjacking, whatever. If I had to defend myself, I'd most definitely choose Glock any day. I've also owned SIG. I had a SIG as my first pistol that I ever owned when I began to start carrying. I love that gun. Had to sell it due to financial issues. I've owned... what's that company? I've owned a couple of Tauruses. I've owned a Springfield, a couple of different size Springfields. Those are all good ones. But at the end of the day, I'm choosing Glock just because of the things I've put it through, the amount of rounds I've put through them, and their ability to continue working no matter what. I've talked to different people who, in law enforcement in different places, who are saying that with their Glocks that they were issued, some of them are at 20, 30,000 rounds, even more, and they're still going with original parts. And that's what I love. Everything's original on these except for the paint job. But triggers are all original. And the reason I stick with the original triggers is I reached out to Chris Tran. He's one of my Facebook friends. He's a law enforcement officer, a big time shooter. And I asked him, hey, how do I get better at shooting this gun and what trigger will help me? He said, man, just practice with that gun until you get it perfect and, just keep training with it and you'll develop a good shot. And that's what I did. I never switched it out. I wanted to put an agency trigger in there at one point, but I kept it stock. And, man, I just feel really good about how that gun shoots and how I shoot that gun with a stock trigger. I will say the Gen 5 has a slightly smoother trigger, most definitely. But man, I'm so used to shooting this thing. I absolutely love it. So shout out to Chris Tran for that. Appreciate your words of wisdom. As far as flashlights, running a TLR3, nothing crazy. It's the Streamlight plastic model. But I mean, it does its job. It's got some wear and it's kind of worn up. I end up going with a TLR1 on this one. That's 1,000 lumens, super, super bright, almost too bright to shine inside a house with white walls. As far as ammo, as far as defense goes, I've always ran Hornady Critical Duty. The only thing is it's really hard to find this right now. So when I picked up the 17, I ended up taking the rounds out of the 19 and putting them in the 17. And I ended up buying some Hornady Black 124 grain XTPs. And these run really well. So that's what I'm running in the 19 if I choose to carry that. But yeah, definitely in a situation where my life depended on it, I'm going with Glock. Like I said, I've had other guns, I've ran other guns, and just because of the stuff I've seen these go through and being able to beat the crap out of them, go through salt water, mud, everything else, and for them to still keep kicking, hey, I love it. So if y'all have any questions about any suggestions on firearms, Glock may not be for you. Like I said earlier, you may want something else. You guys reach out to me, let me know. I will, advise you in any way I can. If you want to go Springfield, SIG, Smith & Wesson, whatever it may be, I can give you my suggestions on those. But yeah, appreciate y'all staying tuned and listening. But y'all have a blessed day.